came out to the street here and looked down there and saw her car. And I went down to see why it was there, and her keys were in it. I'm sorry.
How much safer could a person be than driving in their own car, in their own neighborhood, on their own block, 10 o'clock at night? That's not late for an 18-year-old.
Anybody, any minute, any time could be the strangler, and you never know. So, I get scared when I'm by myself, so I work with other girls, carry weapons or whatever. In case, what if it is him? What are you gonna do? Have to fight him or something? Try to kill him?
To use this opportunity also to try to elicit information from them concerning the strangler. As you're all aware of, that several of the girls that have been the victims of the strangler have been from Sunset Boulevard. And I think that it's as much to their benefit as it is to ours to catch this guy.
From the self-defense classes in the suburbs to the prostitutes trying to protect themselves on the street, the strangler case makes one fact vividly clear. People can never totally protect themselves from unknown killers who choose their victims at random, leaving behind virtually no clues and even less understanding of their motives. I'm Geraldo Rivera, ABC News, Hollywood.
Don't let the sun catch you crying. The night's the time for all your tears. Your heart may be broken tonight, but tomorrow in the morning light, don't let the sun catch you crying. The nighttime shadows disappear, and with them go all your tears. For the morning will bring joy for every girl and boy. So don't let the sun catch you crying. We know that crying's not a bad thing, but stop your crying when the birds sing. It may be hard to discover that you've been left for another, but don't forget that love's a game, and it can always come again. Oh, don't let the sun catch you crying. Don't let the sun catch you crying, oh no, oh, oh, oh.
I assure you, nobody stands very gently and puts their hands on your throat. They choke you and they put you down on that floor and you're down. It's this manner. And it is not a joke when they're doing it. Their intent is to harm you, not to treat you gently. There's no way I can protect myself. I have a very good chance, but there is no guarantee. And don't let anybody decide. Okay, from here it's still...
She was very good at the first one.
Because she had
Because she hadn't been dating. She didn't.
Because of some recent events, especially with location,
And we're not to overcrowd the room, take the excess arrestees down.
Holly, I want to know how the Strangler has affected the way that you do business.
You got to work with it's not safe to work by yourself. You know, you got to be careful of who you get in cars with and shit, because you don't know, man. See, walking around, they've been killed. You know, they say, yeah, so-and-so got killed, that girl Chocolate got killed. I've seen them walking around and stuff, you know. And I don't know them personally, but that gives me the chills. I don't want, you know, it to happen to me or any of my friends or my mother or anybody, you know. It doesn't only happen to hookers. It could be anybody. And I don't want it to happen to me.
How do you feel?
I don't have anything to say.
Oh, yeah, well, just,
No.
tell me, if you're afraid, tell me. Be honest with me. Just... Holly, how long have you been in the business?
On and off for about 3 years, on and off.
Have you ever been this scared before about anything?
No, not really. This is about the scariest, especially, you know, since they think it might be a cop. You know, what if it is a cop? What am I going to do? You know, fight him if I ever get busted? Should I fight him or should I just say, you know, let him take me to jail and take my chances, man? I don't know, you know, if I get caught, if it's a cop, if it's really a cop, he's going to kick my ass. But if it's not a cop, he's going to kick my ass anyway, if it's a man. So, you know, I don't know what's going to happen if I ever run across him. I just hope they catch him before it's too late and get somebody else, the next person. Hope it ain't me or anybody I know or anybody. Shit, just catch him.
Print. Holly, you...
Bye, you better. Just go.
We're close together. Wait, I want to get the shot of you both walking together.
It makes me a little more hesitant about my customers, you know. Like the sergeant said that I talked to, he said, you know, the man could be anybody. They have no idea what he looks like. There's no, you know, no way they can tell me, you know, who he looks like, what kind of car he has or anything. So, yeah, the only thing it does is make me leery about getting into a car. You know, outside I'm able to handle myself, you know. So he couldn't get to me with anything, if, you know.
Do you find that you think about it?
Think about it. Yeah, I do think about it. I do think about it when I'm talking to somebody and they ask me, you know, to get into the car real quick, and if it's a small car, you know, I'll ask them to step outside to talk to him, you know. But yeah, he is right in this area, almost on this exact corner, you know. It's pretty weird. The man has been loose for a long time. The sergeant said he was a sicko. And geez, he said that he would kill the victim and then do sexual things to him. And, you know, the guy's got to be really weird. But I think, you know, I think I could catch him if he came up on me. I really do. That'd be great.
Good luck.
That's a
Don't
new
get
house.
hurt there, okay?
Yeah, I'm San Mateo originally. I've been in Portland, Oregon for a little while. Oh, I do all kinds of things. This is my main gig. That's a dark stuff to do.
How has the Hillside Strangler affected your business and the way you do business?
Dropped it 100%.
Tell me how.
Because I'm scared we don't get in the cars anymore. And everybody that fits the description we don't even talk to. Police come down here and tell us so-and-so was him and stuff like that. I don't want to die.
So it really has changed the way you do business.
Yes.
It really has frightened you and the rest of the girls on the street?
Everybody I know is scared to death.
Okay, that's all about it. That's it. Tell me just a little bit more about it. Just tell me one more. How has the Strangler and the fear of the Strangler affected the way the girls do business?
I think the most...
How has the Strangler case affected the way the prostitutes do business?
I believe the most obvious thing would be the girls are walking in pairs now or in groups. It's been reported to us that if one of the girls approaches a vehicle and ultimately ends up in that vehicle, the other girl will take the license number of that car. If the first girl doesn't return within a given period of time, then she will report the license number of that car to the police for follow-up investigation.
How has it complicated your job, the theory, the speculation that it might be a policeman or a police imposter?
There's always a credibility gap when working plain clothes. There's always an identity problem, and this speculation they're talking about has complicated that problem even more so. We try and be more patient. We identify ourselves not only using badges but identification cards which have photos of the officers. And in other words, an attempt to ensure that the people we're dealing with know for a fact they are dealing with a policeman.
Good. Just tell me that
And if you have long hair, mustache, dress mod, or conservative or whatever, it makes no difference. There's always credibility. And it presents an automatic problem. It's a hazard for policemen because they're making As you know, we've talked about officer safety out there and looking for information on the suspect, then they're going to cooperate with you. And they know as well as we do that there are some real kooks out there, and that's what this Strangler apparently is a kook. And if they have any information whatsoever as far as any tricks that they've had recently that happen to be weird, then be sure and let someone know here so that we can transmit that information to the Strangler Task Force. Those kinds of things. Okay, what have we not talked about so far? Have we talked about security in the office here?
Even on a room, this
situation here, so don't move it. I don't want one of the guys out here writing arrest reports and slide out of sight, because rental car out there most of the time, obviously without radio communication. You really must insist on ringing at least every hour and a half. And that's for your own safety, so it's a pretty good motivation. Also, not just because we might want to give you another assignment, but sometimes we get calls in from home, like we did in the last trick task force. We're going to keep in contact with. Questions about that? An hour and a half ring-in. Information tonight, okay? Prostitution only for this task force. They're really not that big a deal, as long as you let somebody know about it. Be sure and tell a supervisor so we can go, okay? That. They call something, and Officer Jones assisted in the arrest only, okay? It just helps us identify who is with whom, if anything should arise later on, we need to contact both of you. Any problems on that? Because of those Miranda rights.
That's good.
And because you have been able to get some good statements, either admissions or a confession altogether.
Can I hold it up?
But we really need to have those Miranda rights given. Okay, any questions? He's full of girls and he starts advising them all of their rights. No one's going to make a statement to you. They're intimidated by the people that are around them. That's obvious. Yeah, the situation. Oh, one other thing. Glad you mentioned all this question. Hollywood on the arrest report on the face sheet, so that the city attorney can allege that prior. You get the mandatory sentence that the law specifies. Do it with extreme caution, and by that I mean there is both a real concern. With Don here, we'll work that out for 5 minutes.
Dry clean my dry clean.
Oh, you got pissed at me.
You gotta go in the shower.
Okay, to help the photographer.
Produce it first. Okay. Mr. Hames, you've obviously made a movie that will exploit the Hillside Strangler situation. How do you respond? How do you react as a distributor to that fact, to the kind of fact that you're cashing in on the misery of other people?
Well, there are mixed emotions involved, but historically, since Jack the Ripper, the Boston Strangler, any sort of disasters have been the things that fascinate and challenge people and entertain people. So I don't feel too guilty.
Are you embarrassed by it?
Not really. I feel badly about this real incident that's going on now, but I'm not embarrassed about having documentation of that type of thing, of that psychosis. No.
The release of the movie has been speeded up.
Yeah, because of the timing and the promotional possibilities at this moment, we're rushing for a February 15th release.
How do you think you'll do?
I think the picture is dynamite and we're going to do fantastically.
How do you guys feel about this case? How do you feel about working on the task force?
We're all proud to be working here. This is the #1 case here. It's the #1 case in the country, probably. Every man is proud to be working here. We all work overtime. Many work for days at a time without a day off. We're all cops, and we want to get them.
Do you ever feel a sense of frustration because you have so little to go on?
Continually.
What do you think the big break in the case will be?
Catching whoever did this.
It goes without saying. Okay, thank you. Please. Oh, that's fine. Yeah. I'll ask the question again. Do you ever feel a sense of frustration, Sergeant, because you have so little to go on?
Yes. Now, in a case like this, with as little evidence as we started out with, without a solid piece to directly link it to any person or persons, we feel a frustration, yes, but we're working at every means we can.
One more time, same answer. Keep it. Do you ever feel a sense of frustration because you have so little to go on?
Yes. Blow it.
Okay, all right, sure. Cut it. Cut it. I'll put it this way. Sergeant, why do you feel frustrated in a case like this?
We're frustrated because we don't have enough evidence to give us enough to. What evidence we.
Okay. Why do you feel a sense of frustration in this case, Sergeant?
As in any case where there's little evidence to go on to start with, we have what we know are 11 bodies, and they may or may not have been all done by the same person or persons, but for the time being, we are lumping them together and trying to so until we can positively eliminate one or tie them together.
Do you have any suspect right now?
No single suspect yet. We have clues coming in every day. We are examining thousands of people. We are checking thousands of other bits which may be evidence, and until we can positively attach it to the case and come up with something good for court, then we are frustrated.
One more time. Do you feel a sense of frustration in this case, Sergeant, because you have so little concrete evidence to go on?
Absolutely.
And then just listen.
Okay. Do you feel a sense of frustration in this case, Sergeant, because you have so little concrete evidence to go?
Naturally. What we have, we know of, are 11 bodies. We don't know who did it. That's frustrating to a policeman.
The Strangler case makes a grim fact vividly clear. From the tree-lined streets of the suburbs all the way to the red light districts of... No, one more time. The Strangler case makes a grim fact vividly clear. From the tree-lined streets of the suburbs all the way to the honky-tonk back alleys of the red light districts, people can never totally protect themselves from a madman who apparently chooses his victims at random and then murders them for some insane reason known only to himself. I'm Geraldo Rivera, ABC News, Hollywood.